Okay, so what I will be doing here is I'll be showing you the code. I've already written it, so I'll go through it. If I'll write all the full code, it will take a lot of time. It's a long code, and here you can see it's our question and it is clean. So what I'm using is I'm using onlinegdb.com/online Python compiler just to give you a feel that how it is working, and then I'll transport this whole code here. Okay, so let's see how I've done this. So there are two functions. Initially I wrote two functions. You can see one function is month and another function is year. You can see here. So two functions just to calculate the number of odd days. So number of odd days for year and number of odd days for month. For day I am not writing any function because it does not require so much calculation, and our actual code starts from here. Okay, so here you can see I have made a variable called list date. So date is in list form, which I'll give as an input, and I have imported sys here. So sys for the constraint actually. So in down here you can see I've written the constraint. This is full constraint. So constraint is given to us here. You can see. So year has to be between 2000 to 3000. So list date 2 is the year. List date 2. List date 0, list date 1, list date 2. Year has to be between these two guys. Month has to be between 1 to 12. So that is what I've written here, and date has to be between 1 to 31, right? So if these conditions will not be followed, it will print invalid date, invalid month, or invalid year, and straight away it will stop the execution of the program. Okay, so that is why I've imported this sys. So that is the constraint part. This is the input part. Now let's go to the code. So if you will come down, it will start odd days for year, where it will give the input list date 2, which is our year, convert it into int form, and then it will call a function called year. Okay, the first function year. So what it is doing, this is the year which is in string form. This is in string form. It is converted into int and then passed as a variable to function year, and it will calculate the number of odd days in this year till this year. Okay, and it will print here in next line. So let's go to the year function with our year. So in the top it will come here. Okay, so just like we used to calculate the number of odd days for one less year, right? So this is what I am doing. So y is our integer type year. So year minus 1, I have saved it in last year. Okay, last year means just a year before requirement. Then we start our algorithm. So there is while loop. These all things you have seen in the board. Now I am just going through it. You will be able to grasp. So I have initialized I is equal to 0. I have ran a while loop. I is greater than equal to 0. It will come inside and it will keep on checking whether the it is actually checking for century year, which is closest century year, which will give us 0 odd day. So 400 to I, it is keep on increasing the value of I by here I plus 1. It will keep on running that until and unless this value 400 into I becomes greater than our last year. Last year is this guy. Okay, one less. So once this condition is passed, inside this it will take I minus 1 into 400, which will be our century year. Okay, here we are not getting any odd days because century years does not give us any odd day. Okay, which is multiple of 4. So from here at the end of this while loop, what you will get is century year. Okay, which I am calling it as cent year. You can also print this if you want, but you might be able to grasp it. Now comes the next while loop. So I is equal to 0. As far as I is greater than equal to 0, this while loop will be running. Now here you can see it will be checking this if condition, means century year plus 100 times I value. It will keep on increasing the century year plus 100 times the year, next year, next to next year, like this. So second step, if you are able to remember, and it will check whether it is greater than your last year or not. If it is greater, when this condition is passed, it will store the close year. Okay, it's like if you have found, if you are given with 1943 year, then in the first loop, in this loop, it will calculate 1600, and in this loop it will calculate 1900. Okay, so 100 times it is multiplying, and it keep on adding on century year. So close year means closest year, so century year plus 100 times I minus 1. Now you can also print this. So I'll be printing that, and along with that we will be getting odd days here. So I'm calling it as odd day mid year. So if I minus 1 is equal to 0, you'll have 0 odd day. If 1 means so one time it has run, then 5 will be the mid odd day. If it is 2, then mid year odd day will be 3, and if it is 3, the midday odd year is odd number is 1, and then it will quickly break. As far as you will get you will get whatever you want, it will break the while loop. It will come out, else it will keep on increasing it. So at the end of this for loop, you will get mid year odd day. Okay, here you didn't got any odd day. Now let's go to the final loop. Here I is equal to 0, while I is greater than equal to 0, it will check for the remaining year. So you are right now at 1900, so 1900 to 1943 you have to go. So here you can see I is getting increasing, and close year you are starting with close year plus 1, close year plus 2, like this. So 1900, 1901, 1902, it is checking until your last year becomes equal to that year. You can print the value of I, but I am not printing it. So and then what you will do is you will take the value of I, which is 43 in our case. 43 divided by 4, it will check whether it is the remainder is 0 or not. It will take leap year is equal to I by 4 if it is remainder is 0. If not, then it will take only the integer value of I divided by 4 as leap year. And you can calculate the value of normal year by subtracting the value of last year minus close year plus leap year. Okay, so it's like you are doing what 1900 plus leap year, and you are subtracting it from last year. So you will get normal years here. Once you have leap year and normal year, you multiply, you break the loop, and then you start multiplying it. Multiply 2 for odd number of days for leap year, multiply 1 for odd number of days for normal year. Now you have all the odd days from year. Okay, so here you are getting from leap year, here you are getting from normal year, here you are getting from mid year, and from century year it is 0. Then you add all of them, and then you can take the modulo by 7, you will get the odd days year, and then you return it. Okay, so if when you will return it, this will have your number of odd days from year, and it will print it. Then it will go to the next line. Same thing it will do for month. So now here you are sending month, your month converted into int, and function called month is called, and at the output you will get odd days in a month. Okay, there is one catch I will show you. So define month. So this is my month. Remember that table, the odd number of days in each month. So that is what I have written here. Okay, so if m is equal to 1 means month is 1, then odd days will be 0. So you don't have to count any month odd days if the month is January. Else if month is February, it will collect odd number of days in a month for January. This is for January, right? You are not collecting it for February, one less you are doing, right? So if it is March, then you will collect till February, but February has adding 0 in Feb is it is dependent upon leap year, right? Whether the given year is leap year or not. So what you are doing, you are adding 0 here. Okay, I'll add 1 in case of leap year later on. So here I'm adding 0 for February. I'm considering every year as normal year only. Given year is normal year. Then here for April, March, April, then May, June, July. I guess I'm keep on appending the keep on adding the number of days. You can see till December. December it is 26, and finally I am just passing the odd days, number of odd days in return. Total I will get, right? So it will come back and it will give it to this month value. Now I will check whether the year given year is leap year or not, and depending upon that I will add 1 or not, okay, in this given month. So see here, so this is the month. If it is less than equal to 2, the value of month is less than equal to 2, the odd number of days for month will be divided by 7, as it is normal, nothing, no issue. Else if it will check whether the month is not equal to 2, means whether the month is greater than 2 or not. That is what it is checking. Okay, so before 2 you won't be adding leap year, right? That's why I've made a case here. But if it is not equal to 2, means it is greater than 2 or equal to 2, sorry, greater than 2, then what will happen? It will check for 2 conditions: whether the given year is divisible by 100 or not, and it is divisible by 400, then it is a leap year, means it will add 1, means it's adding 1 for February month, right? Leap year will have 1 extra day, right? So 1 extra day divided by 7 modulo 7, you will get the month, odd days in month. So you are re-updating. Here you got without February addition, means like 0 was added in February. Here you are getting with leap year, whether the given year is leap year or not. Depending upon that you are adding 1. Okay, and plus also you are looking at whether the given month is less than 2 or not, because less than 2, then you directly divide it by 7, right? You don't look for leap years and all. So that is what is happening. And in the else if case, it is checking for whether the given year is not divisible by 100 and divisible by 4 here. You can see, so it will add then also it will add 1. Okay, and then last is else case, it will divide by 7 without adding 1, and then you will get odd days in a month. So first case is for century year. If it is a century year, second case is for if not a century year. What is not a century year? This list 2, this is what I am checking. Okay, so not a century year, then divisibility by 4 is checked, else it will not add leap year. Okay, a leap day, whatever extra odd day, it will not add. Finally you will get your here your odd days in a month, and then finally you will calculate the odd days in a date, and it is just a divisibility by 7. You can see it has passed the value in integer form, the day, the modulo 7, and it has saved it and printed it. So totally you got the odd days for date, month, year, and you did the modulo 7. So you will get the total number of days. Now depending upon the days, you have set 0 to Sunday, 1 to Monday, likewise 6 to Saturday. Else if cases are there, so it will print like that. So I have taken this example. So today is you can see 27 for 2021. So I'll write it 27 for 2021. So let's run it from here. So this is my console here. So you can see all the values. So it is showing Tuesday, today is Tuesday, and you can see all the other values which are printed. See, this is what, this is the closest century year given for this given year. So 2000 will be the closest, right, century year. And number of odd days is 0, you can see. Then you have calculated for leap year and the normal year, and here you can print the how many mid odd days. So mid odd days, mid year odd days is 0, right? So 2000, and only you don't have to calculate the odd day of mid year. You can see that 2000 is the closest closest year as well. So that is why this value is 0. This is the value of I actually. And here you can see out of 21, 10 are leap year and 15 are normal year. So 20 plus 15 is 35. 35 divided by 7. 7 is 0, right? So then what is being printed here? Let me check. Number of odd days 4, then 6 and 6. So here I have printed okay. So odd number of days in a month, print odd days in a month, odd days in a date, and Sunday. And this before this, what is there? Odd days year. So 4 is your number of odd days in your year, 6 is number of odd days in a month, another 6 is number of odd days in for that day. So total it becomes 16, right? 16 divided by 7 is 14. 14, 15, 2 will be the odd day. So 2 means 0, 2 means here you can see it is Tuesday, right? So that is how it is working, and you can put any other value here. Let me do that. So input, if you will give something else like let's say 15 August 1943, so it will show run. So invalid year. Oh, okay, so you can't do that. Okay, so if you will apply constraint, so it is telling you invalid year because the constraint is between 2000 to 3000 year and you are providing 1943. Let me change it to 10. Okay, then also it will work. It will work for any year. That's the good thing. So here you can see it is Sunday, which we have calculated in the board as well. Also what we calculated, 25. Let's say 25. So it is Wednesday. Okay, and then what else we have calculated? Let me check. So we have done for 19 January 2010. 19 January 2010. 19 January 2010. Okay, let's run it. So here it is Tuesday, which we got it. Another one was 14 August 600. So let me do 600. So if I'll run it, I'll see it was Thursday, and we have calculated this as Thursday. So you can check it for any way, any date. So this is day here, this 14 is day, this is month, and this is year. So this was the code. So I'll take this whole code and I'll copy it. Okay, so I have to remove the dependency of this, right? So here I don't have to give the input in this fashion. You can see here the input is given in this form. So 08/05/2015, and that too is it's in month, date and year form. This is in date, month and year form. So I have to reverse this first two guys. So let me do it. So I'll first take it. I've done it actually. So I'll take the other file, Control A, C, and here I'll write it. And so here you can see everything is same. Everything is same. just in the beginning I have taken the input on list date, and I have splitted it with dash, and then space I have splitted it. So list date 0 is being saved in a temporary variable, then list the first one is transferred to 0th position, and then temporary variable passes the to the first location. So it's like flipping, like yeah, I have taken this guy I've stored it in temp, then I took this guy and stored in this position, and this position is vacant, so I have taken it from temp in the last line. So that's how I'm flipping it. So it is given that the input should be in mmdd YYYY form, and I am giving in dd YYMM YYYY form. So that's the only change I have done. So you can see all the the function here, long function, month function, then constraint, and then all the other part of the code. Okay, so let me run this one so that you will see whether it is submitting or not. So congratulations, we have submitted the code. This is working. Let me submit it. All the test cases are passed, and you can see it is working, right? So this was it. You can, if you want, you can look this on your own. Means like it will take some time, I know, but this is one of the best code for me, because it is so much clean. It is not even taking so much time. You time wise also it is figuring out. I mean, even if you will calculate for let's say 11th year, it will show you the date. Okay, so here you can say it was Sunday on 11th year, August 14, it was Sunday. Let's look at for future. Let's go to the future. 40 I'll do. So constraint I have to remove, so let me do 30,000. So 40 we have to check, then also it will work. See, it is Tuesday. So that is the benefit. Means it is very generalized type of calendar we have made. Although I have took it a lot of time in solving this, but it is all worth it. You can see how much learning is there, and the product what is coming out of this much hard work is beautiful, right? Just write any date and you will get to know the day. And you can cross check in different size. You can also cross check by using this calendar thing, this function, and you will be able to get everything. So just for your reference, I'll save this code, and I'll put it in Drive, and I'll share the link in the description of this video, so that you will get a reference. You can download and you can use on your own. Okay, so yeah.